Okay, so let's begin. Today we are going to do a few more print examples, right? Okay. So yesterday somebody asked, right, what is F in print? And that's the main objective for today. But before that, we have started talking about basic data types, correct? And we saw that there are five main or basic, not main, those are the basic. Of course, as we go along, we'll talk about more advanced data structures. Basic in the sense, one variable name will store only one value. Okay. And when we go to advanced, you can see that one variable name can store more than one value. That's what we say when we say advanced data structure. Okay. So, so let's say if you have var1, okay, equal to 5, and I did mention that, you can check with the type function, what is the data type of that variable. So this var1 equal to 5 is like saying, let x be equal to 5, correct? And then you want to know what type of value x has or var1 has. So when I run this here, so see, it says integer, right? Now, similarly, if I'll just copy and save it here so that we know it. And in this case, I'll put 5.0. Now, when you put a decimal point, even it could be 0, right? But still it has a decimal point. So it treats this as a float. Okay. Now, what is class? Now, since uh, Python is a class and object-oriented programming language, everything is treated as class and object here. Okay. For now, let's assume that class is like a group, okay, with similar functionalities or similar um, usage. Okay. So it belongs to a group called float, and float has all the floats will have similar functionalities or usage, right? Later we will get into class and object discussion, and we'll understand more about what is class, how to create our own classes. Okay. Now same thing, okay, if I put this in quotation, right? And yesterday we saw whether you put as single quote, double quote, you put as triple quote. Okay, you put as triple quote. All of these will have same meaning, right? They're all string. So you have class string. Okay. So that's how you define string object. Okay. And the final fifth one is when you talk about Boolean values, true or false. Okay. Now see here, I'm not giving this in quotation. So it's not string. If I give this in quotation, it would become string. But I'm not giving in quotation. That's first point. And second point, spelling. Okay. T capital and rest are lowercase. Okay. If you try to do something else, let's say TRUE, okay, it'll give you error. Okay, because it doesn't understand this. It will only understand this value as Boolean, okay, if you give in this specific or in this manner, the spelling in this manner. Okay. And of course, when you do type of this, it is Boolean type, right? Okay. Now let's take some examples and we'll see what's the usage of these variables. Now, why do we use variables? Okay. So I was saying that variable means, the values that we store can change. Okay. This is your variable name. This is called as variable, right? Why is variable? Because the value of variables would change, right? Values of variables would change. So here it is 5.0, here it became a string 5. Here it became a Boolean true, right? So of course, values of a variable can change. Now, in other languages, okay, if you define something as integer, it can only take integer value. But in Python, you can give any value. It can be integer here in line number 2, and suddenly in line number 5 it became a float. In line number 8 became a string. Okay, so it can change its value anytime. Okay. Now let's take simple example. I'm going to say length equal to 10, breadth equal to 15. Okay. Now let's assume that these are dimension of your rectangular field. And I want to find area and perimeter. So how will you find area? So you will say area equal to length star breadth. This is how we write into multiplication sign in programming. Okay, the star side, which is on your numeric 8, right? You press shift 8 and you get this, right? So this is a formula for calculating area. And then you have perimeter. Perimeter equal to 2 times, correct? So 2 times, and now you have to do length plus breadth, right? BODMAS rule. So first bracket would mean that first we need to add these two, right? And then you add this plus sign. So you need to add these two variables and then multiply this with 2. That's what perimeter means, correct? So now I can print something like this. I can say here area of a rectangle with length, right? So I have put this entire thing in quotes. So this will be printed as it is, right? This would be printed as it is. Area of rectangle with length would be printed as it is. Now I'm saying, okay, length. Now this is outside quotation. That means here we are replacing the value of variable. We are replacing this variable with its value, right? That's why we did not put inside the quotation, right? That's what we saw yesterday. So area of a rectangle with length 10, comma, and breadth, you say breadth, then you say is, now you say area, now you say is this, and perimeter is, you say peri. Right? Lot of text, lot of variables here in one single print. So whatever we write in quotation will be printed as it is. What is without quotation is evaluated. Python will try to evaluate this. They say, okay, length or length is defined here. So, okay, so I need to replace this with 10. So let's see this. You see this? Area of a rectangle with length 10 and breadth 15 is 150 and perimeter is 50. Correct? Now, there is another way where you don't have to put so many quotations, so many commas, variables, okay? That is called format string or F string. Okay, we call this as F string, okay, or your format string. So this is going to format the output. What we do, you put F here and then you put quotation. So the moment you put F here, Python knows, okay, you want to do formatting. Okay. So this is the exact text I want output to be in. So I'm going to copy and paste it here. Okay. Now you see, this 10 has to be replaced with its variable because later if you change the value of this 10 to something else, it should automatically take. So what I'm saying is, let's say it becomes 100. Let's say length you give 100. Now in this case, everything is changed, right? That's why we used as a variable, because if you change it to 100, see, length got changed, area got changed, perimeter got changed. But if you put them all as a text, you won't, I mean, these will be fixed, right? So how do we make this variable? We have single quotation, no quotation break. So how do we make this as variable? So here you put curly bracket and put the variable name. Curly bracket is to indicate to Python that I'm going to use variable name within the curly bracket. Okay, and I'm going to use variable name within the curly bracket. Similarly, here 15 is to replace with breadth, right? So you put curly bracket and put breadth here. This is your area, replace this with area here. This is your peri, replace 50 with peri here. Now you run it. Exact same output. And personally, when there are more than two variables, I find this way easier to work with than this. If there is only one or say two variables, I still go with this method only. And this method I use when I have to handle more than two variables. But again, there's no hard and fast rule that you have to use this or this. You have your own choice. Whatever you feel comfortable, you can use it. If you feel comfortable using this, very well. Okay. But if you feel comfortable using this, you can use this. Now, why F is required is, let's say if I use same, okay, print, and this time I don't give F here. So I'm not indicating that it's a format string. Okay. If I don't indicate it's a format string, and now when I run it, you see this? It is printed as it is. Because it is treated like a text, there is no way to tell Python that this is a variable and you need to replace this with a variable with its value. There is no way to say that. That's why we have to put F. The moment you put F, it knows, okay, if means there will be some curly brackets inside. And within the curly bracket, whatever you have, that we need to replace with the value of that. Okay. So that's how, you can use format. Now, format can be used to, of course, format this output, and also you can use it to format a float value or format a string value. So let's say I want to format a float value. Okay. So let's take another example. Let's say I talk about total. Okay. Total items, right? So let's say you have total items you bought is 100. Okay. Or you not 100, let's put something else like 77. Total items you bought is 77. Okay. This is the total items you bought. And total price that you paid is, let's say total price you paid is 367. Okay. So this is the total price you paid. So what is the price per item? Price per item, okay, would be total price divided by total item, correct? Now let's say same thing I want to print it in format string. So I'm going to say print F. So I'm going to say cost of each item when total price paid is total price for, let me put total items here. Cost of each item when total price paid is so much for, okay, this is for 77 items is currency. Let's say I put some currency. Right? And here, of course, you'll have price item. Right? This probably makes sense? Let's run and see. Yes, right? Cost of each item when total price paid is 367, 477 items is 4.766. It has calculated, and Python is known to calculate to a very large accuracy level. But when we talk about currencies, right, we don't give more than 2 decimal point. So this is where you can use format string to format. So what you have here is you can put a colon. So if you are formatting in the way you want the output to be, okay, you can only format the way it is displayed. Value is 4.7662337662337662337662333. That is the value. But we are trying to format the output. We want it to display only 2 values. So you put colon, okay, always colon. And we'll see a couple of more examples, you will be very clear. Colon indicates that, okay, we are now going to format the output. Okay, so I want to format the decimal points. I'm going to say point, decimal point. And how many values you want after decimal? You want only 2 values. So I'll say 2. And then I will say F. F indicates float. So I'm saying 0.2F. Decimal point, after decimal point, only 2 values, that's by 2. And F is for float. Now, when you run it, you see it has formatted to 2 decimal places only. You want only 1 decimal place. So you give 1. So this is 4.8. Right? So this is how you can format a float value. Okay. So now I want you to do some assignment. Okay. Now, see, if you want me to evaluate your assignment, this is the process how you can send me the assignment. Okay. I'm not going to any assignment problem. I'm not going to solve it until you make an attempt. Okay. It's so easy to say, I didn't get that problem. Can you solve it? No. You have to show me that this is what I have done. I've got stuck here. Can you help me to move ahead? Only then I'll solve it. Okay. So, so assignment submission process, you create a Google Drive folder. Okay. So I'll say create Google Drive folder and share with me. Okay. You can share with me or you can share with Santosh sir. Okay. Okay. And within this folder, add your .py files. Okay. I don't want IPNV files. Okay. Even if it is IPNV, you can convert into .py, right? So within this folder, add your .py files. That's it. And share that main folder link so that we can go and evaluate your programs anytime, any day. Is it clear? Did you understand how to submit the assignments? Right? Assignments, I'm going to give you more and it will start from easy to very difficult level. Okay. I want you to make an attempt, try, solve it. Okay. If you don't get it, come to me with your code saying this is what I tried. I'm not able to move ahead. But if you tell me that, oh, I did not get, please solve it, I'm not going to solve it. Okay. These are meant for you to solve. You get stuck, you come to me. Is it clear? So this will be on in your Google Drive, isn't it? So, just give us the link and we will evaluate your PO files. Make sense? At least 1 or 2 years.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how we will share this folder with Santosh
Can you
sir?
please switch off from other device? Echo. Either you connect through laptop or both, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, I want to say how to share this file with Santosh sir.
You take email ID of who was the
Okay.
contact person, right? And when you
Okay.
when you go to Google, right, you can share with that email ID. Okay. So you take the email ID
Okay.
and share with that person. So that person will have access. Nobody else will have, only that person will have access. So right
Okay.
click on that folder and say share.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So after the session, you can take their email ID and they will tell you how to share. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so your first assignment coming now. Okay, first assignment. Uh, I'm going to write couple of programs here, and later when you get the program, you might see. Okay, sometimes what I'll do is I will add extra programs to your notes without telling in the class. In class, I will tell you the assignment. Okay, and after the class, I can add more programs in your notes. Those are additional programs which again meant for you to practice. Okay, so assignment 1 and first program is write a program to calculate area and circumference circumference of a circle, correct? And
Yes, sir.
display info in a formatted manner, something like what we have done in today's session. Okay, then write a program to calculate area and perimeter of a square, right? Okay. Write a program to calculate simple interest to be paid when principal amount rate of interest and time is given, right? You want to try one more? Write a program to take degree Celsius as input and give Fahrenheit equivalent output. Make sense? And if you don't know the formula, you can do the Google search to get the formula, right? You don't know how to calculate the perimeter of a square. You can do Google search, get the formula. Please search for a formula only, okay? Don't search for Python program. I mean, these programs are available on internet, okay? But I want you to try, right? Make sense? We'll move ahead.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll see one more example of format before we get into operators. Okay, so in this case, we will see example of string. Now you see, okay, now you can have multiple variables added in one single line. For example, let's say I want to add name, okay, name, I want to add country, and let's say position. These three, I want to create three variables. I want to give values for each of these three variables. So I give name as, let's say, Virat. Okay, country as India, and position as, let's say, opening. So what did I see here? What did I do? I created three different variables. So you separate them by comma. So variable 1, comma variable 2, comma variable 3 equal to value 1, comma value 2, comma value 3. So first value will go to first variable. Second value will go to second variable. Third value will go to third variable. Okay. Now I want to print something like this. Print F player, and then I'll have player name. I'll say plays for, I'll say country. So player Virat plays for India as AN, and here I will say position, let's say. in the in cricket game, in cricket. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. So player Virat plays for India as an opening, okay, in the cricket. Okay, right? Now let's say I have second value to be printed here. Okay, now here we have different player. Let's say this guy. And this guy is a player from Zimbabwe, let's say. And he is a wicket keeper, let's say. Okay. Now when you run it, so player M plays for J and okay. Now you see, okay, we are printing same text, right? Just that names are different. So how about printing player below player, which it has done anyways, plays below plays, right? Cricket below cricket. So that it's like fixed length. Okay, it's a fixed length, and only the values that you're printing obviously will change. That means, let's say if I assign, let's say here this guy has about 8-letter name, right? And this guy has only 5-letter name. So what happened? This actually pushed this text by 3 spaces, isn't it? But what if I, fix 10 spaces for name? If I fix 10 spaces for name, okay, if I fix 10 spaces for name, in that case, this Virat will also have 10 spaces. Mangwaba will also have 10 spaces, right? Now your P will start from 11th space, or blank will be at 11th, P will be from 12th space. So that way you will be able to maintain that number of spaces, isn't it? So how do we do that? So we are talking about formatting the output, correct? So formatting the output, you will say colon here, very similar to what we did here. Okay, so we are saying colon here, colon here. Now we want to give 10 spaces for the name. So I'll say name should be printed in 10 spaces. Name should be printed in 10 spaces. So we are giving fixed number of spaces here. We are giving fixed number of spaces. Great, 10 spaces done. Now name is only 5 character, right? And you're giving 10 spaces. Where in that 10 will it be, should it print? Should it be left aligned? So that values will, the text will be on the left side and you have blank spaces on the right. That's left alignment, right? Or you want to keep it right alignment where the blank spaces will be on the left. So you'll have 5 blank spaces and then you have 5 characters. Or you want to have a center alignment where you have equal number of spaces on both the side. Okay. And when you have uneven, right, odd number of spaces like 5, you will have 3 on the right side, 2 on the left side. Okay. So extra space will be on the right side in the central line. So you also need to indicate to Python that you want to make it a left aligned, center aligned, or right aligned. So let's say I want to make this as left aligned. So you'll put less than sign. So this is to indicate that, okay, arrow to the left, go left, just how you understand it, okay? You put less than, indicating go to the left side. That's how arrow indicate, right? When you have arrow to the left means go to the left. So you're saying characters or your spelling, okay, go to the left and leave blanks on the right side. So now when I run it, you see that 10 spaces are reserved for the name. Okay, 5 is taken up and rest 5 is left blank on the right side. Because we said go left, the text is on the left side. Okay, same way here, 2 spaces are left blank. Okay. Now, country, I want it to be right aligned. So colon, and let's give 15, right? Or maybe 10 here. This is also about 4 plus 4, 8, right? Yeah, let's give 10 here or 12 here. Let's give 12. So colon 12, right? That means we want 12 spaces to be kept reserved for country. And I'm saying go right aligned. I want to align on the right side. Okay, so arrow should be on the right side. So colon arrow value. Colon arrow value. Okay, so now when you run it, you see, so you have 12 spaces reserved and the texts are right aligned. So you have blank spaces on the left side. Okay, now for the position, I want to give 15 characters. Now, let's say if I give 10 here, obviously this is more than 10, right? If I give 10 here, then this is going to ignore the alignment. If you have more text to be printed, it's not going to, remove the text. It will, in that case, it's going to ignore your alignment. Okay. So here I'm going to say 15 and I want to make it as a centrally aligned. Central aligned means you have left arrow to go left, right arrow to go right, and now you'll say go up arrow. You see on your key 6 caret sign. What do you call this? Okay, this is to indicate that go center, go up, go center, right? So by assigning 15 characters and I'm saying that make it centrally aligned. That means equal number of spaces will be left on both the side. You see? Okay, so you have left alignment, right alignment, and central alignment. Now you see, in the cricket is exactly below each other. As and is exactly below each other. Place 4, exactly below each other. So this is how you can even format string in Python. Make sense? I will pause here for 30 seconds. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so I hope everybody got it. No questions, no comment as well.
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, why we do make alignment, sir? Left
Because
alignment,
I
center
want it
alignment,
to be
and so.
printed below each other. That's why I'm doing the alignment. Correct? This is my requirement. My requirement is I want to, because if I don't do it, they are not, it's printing every. So when you look at the TV screen, when you watch these cricket matches or any of the sports match, you see, the text is fixed, right? And just the values will be changed in between. So now if you are reading, you know, okay, this is the same text, just the names are being changed.
Okay.
Okay. Now for next few hours, okay, that means today and maybe next couple of days, we will talk about, okay, different operators that we have, okay, different operators. So first we will start with what is called as arithmetic operators. arithmetic. Okay, arithmetic operator. I'm not sure about the spelling. You can check it. Okay. Okay. Arithmetic means mathematical operators, right? And those mathematics can be done only on numbers, right? So that means we can do, okay, we talked about 4 only, right? We missed one. We missed complex type here. Okay, so I did discuss about complex. What is complex? Complex is just square root of -1, isn't it? So if I say var1 equal to 5j, okay, in mathematics we write I, but in Python we write it with j. So 5j means it is square root of -25. Square root of -25. So square root of 25 is 5, minus is j, -1 is j. So if you print the type of var1, and when you run it, you see this is complex. For our work, okay, we are not going to discuss complex ever again apart from today's session. So let's see how complex work, and we will stop complex discussion. Okay. So let's say I say print 5j into 5j. So what do you think the output was going to be? 5j into 5j? 5 into 5? 25. So 25j square, right? This is what you expect, 25j square. But what is j square? J square is
One.
-1. -1. So you get -25. But -25 is an integer. We're talking about complex values, right? So how do you make, now if let's say 5 is an integer, how do you make it float? How do you make 5 as float value? 5 is integer, isn't it? How do you make 5 as float?
Add formatting like
0.0. You say 0.0, right? So
Yes.
5.0 is 5, but it's not float. Similarly, -25 is integer. I'll say plus 0j. 0j will make it a complex. So when you run print 5j into 5j, this is what you get. Okay, so it became 25, which is integer, but then how can you convert complex into integer? So you say, okay, let me add plus 0j. So though there is no value for j because j square became -1, but since we started with complex, we have to end with complex. Okay, so this is how multiplication works. And if you have other number, let's say val1 and val2, okay, you have 10, 3, right? I can say val1 plus val2. This is addition, correct? Val1 minus val2. What the value of this, guys? Line number 56?
13,
13. And line number 57?
7,
7,
30,
correct? 30 and
3.3 something.
3.3333, right? So yes, so when you run it, you get 13, 7, 30, 3.33, right? These are your basic arithmetic operators which will apply on any numeric value, whether it is complex, float, or integer. I'm trying with integer, you try with float and complex also. Okay? Now, apart from that, we have 3 more arithmetic operators. Okay? So we have this sign. This is percentage sign, but we call this as modulo, mod or modulo. Okay, sign is percentage sign, but we don't call it as percentage. This is not percentage. This is modulo. Then you have double division. And then you have double multiplication. Single star is simple multiplication, right? 10 into 330. This is single division. So 10 by 3 is 3.33. Modulo indicates remainder. So if I divide 10 by 3, what do you get? What do you get if you divide 10 by 3?
1.
Right.
Remainder.
So 10. So you have 10 and you divide it with 3. So 3 3s are 9. You can't divide any further. So this is like, before you learn decimal point, this is how we looked at division, right? Then you say 0 and then add 0 here and then 3 times 3 becomes 3, 3. But, so this is like it goes 3 times and it leaves remainder 1. So this is your modulo, okay, remainder. And this is your double integer, double division, not double integer, integer division. We call it as integer division or double integer sign, double division sign. So if you have 10 by 3, okay, so integer division like 3.33, right? You get this. So this is your integer division or double division. And this into 3 will give you remainder, modulo. Okay. So if you go back to our program, so yeah, modulo for remainder. Okay. Integer division. Okay. So this will give you that non-decimal part. This will always be integer output. Okay. This will always be float. 10 by 5 will give you 2.0. So this will always be float. 10 by 5 will give you 2.0, not 2, 2.0. This will always be integer. Okay. Now this is power. Double star is power. So when I say 10, when I say 10 star 3, it means 10 into 10 into 10, 10 cube. Okay. So when you run it, so yeah, this is 1 because 3, 10 by 3 will give you remainder of 1. This is the 3. The perfect division is 3, integer division. And then it is 10 to power 3. So 10 into 10 into 10 is 1000. Right? So these are your arithmetic operators. We'll stop here today. And tomorrow we'll talk about comparison operator. How do you compare different values? That's the topic for tomorrow. Any question before we wrap up for the day?
If recordings are available today, then we can practice.